Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily DVAR Halacha. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it's for Wednesday, the 11th day of March. Here we go. Another halacha for you on the laws of searching for Chametz the night before Pesach. This is the wrong way to do it. The wrong way to do it is to put out the 10 pieces of bread and then go, kind of pretend and go right to where the 10 pieces are, collect them up in 5 minutes and say, we're done. I put out 10 pieces of bread, I know where they are, I go right to where they are, I do my little hocus pocus, found all 10 of them, and then I'm done. That's the wrong attitude. Technically, really, you're supposed to be searching the house. And along the way, we put 10 pieces because we want you to actually find stuff and have something to burn on the following morning. But it's not appropriate to just like fake it and pretend and just go right to where the 10 pieces are. It really is a search of the house, and that's the way it's supposed to be. But what is the appropriate amount of time to spend on this? Should I crawl around with my flashlight or candle all the way until 5 in the morning and basically give it 8 or 9 hours? Or should it take 5 minutes? And honestly, the answer is going to be somewhere in between. There are Gedolim who spent a good portion of the whole night doing this. And that's recorded in different svarim about great Gedolim who really spent hours and hours doing their search for Chametz. And there are people who go all the way to the other extreme and just do it in 4 minutes. And the answer probably more appropriately would be somewhere I don't want to say a set time, but much more than 5 minutes, and you don't necessarily have to do 8 hours either. That's the safest way I'd like to say it, is 5 minutes is too little, and 8 hours is something that you don't necessarily have to do. But what should be your rationale to get the thing right? So, halachically speaking, I want you to know that you only have to search in areas where you know that there could be chametz. Let's say there's a storage area that's been all locked up, which never has food. It's an office, and I don't know, some area that in the house that no one ever brings food into. If there's a place where food never goes, you really technically don't have to search there. And here's the catch. If there are places in your home that you have cleaned so well over the last few days before the search that they are like an area that chametz is not brought into because they've been cleaned so well that chametz is not in there, then they too don't have to be searched so thoroughly. That would be part of the rationale for why you're allowed to do it in under 8 hours and maybe just in an hour or so. And that's because a lot of the areas of your home, by the time you get to the search for chametz night, have been so well cleaned that they are like an area, really technically they have the status of an area that no chametz is in, and then you can do a kind of quick search in those areas. And that's why we are allowed to allow ourselves to go down to closer to a half hour or an hour to do the search instead of going all the way to 8 hours. And that's because halachically a lot of the areas of our home might have the status by the night before Pesach, of being thoroughly non-chametz areas. So that is a way that you could do that also. I'm going to tell you something that we do in our home. It's not necessarily in the Shulchan Aruch, but I think it's a great idea, and that is we walk around with a little notepad while we're doing the search, and we just note little things as we're going through the entire house, and we notice, ooh, that shampoo in the downstairs bathroom. Let's double check on that and see if it has any chametz in it. And then we say, ooh, this cabinet, let's remember to tape that shut. And as we go through the house, we're not necessarily finding a Cheerio or a pretzel, but we are also finding little notes of things that have to be taken care of as we carefully go through the house. Do you have to use a candle? Can you use a flashlight? There are a lot of different answers to this, but certainly a flashlight should sometimes be used because it's hard to put a candle under the couch without the risk of burning the couch and the house. And so you're not going to put the light well under the couch, and a flashlight does much better in that situation. So you might want to use both. The flashlight at the beginning, or in the general way to just be good and traditional, the way it was discussed in the Shulchan Aruch, and the flashlight for areas where the candle frankly doesn't do too well. And if you're wondering about why on earth do I have to use a flashlight and candle, why can't I just have the bright house all lit up? And the Chazal do address that point and say that when a room is dark and the light of a candle, or now a flashlight, shines into a certain area, it helps you hyper focus on that area and notice better than in a well lit room where everything is just bright and you're not noticing crevices and shadows and things. And so there is a strong point to making certain to go around with a flashlight or candle, because they help you focus on certain areas, and that still is the way that it should be done. You should try not to speak through the whole search, and unless it's necessary for the search, like could you bring the flashlight closer, or those kinds of things are appropriate to say. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye bye.